Many people believe that to create a piece of furniture that looks truly luxurious, you must start with expensive hardwood. They think that the deep, rich character of walnut or mahogany is something you can only get by paying a high price for the lumber itself. This idea, however, is a common myth in woodworking. The truth is that the final appearance of a piece is often more about the finish than the wood underneath. With the right techniques and a little bit of patience, you can transform common, affordable construction-grade pine into a stunning piece that mimics the elegance of premium black walnut, fooling even a discerning eye. The secret lies in understanding how to control color and texture through a multi-step finishing process. Let's consider the starting point. On one side, you have a raw, unfinished pine board. It is pale, often with a yellow or reddish tint, and features a very prominent high-contrast grain pattern. Knots are common, and the surface can appear somewhat plain or rustic. On the other side, you have a board of genuine black walnut. Its color is a deep, cool brown with subtle undertones of purple and gray. The grain is much finer and more complex, with delicate swirls and beautiful figuring that contribute to its sophisticated look. The difference is stark. Our goal is not just to make the pine darker, but to replicate the depth, color complexity, and subtle grain patterns that make walnut so desirable. The biggest challenge when working with a soft wood like pine is its tendency to absorb stain unevenly. This results in a blotchy, unprofessional-looking finish. Pine has a varied density. Some parts of the wood are softer and more porous than others. When you apply a traditional penetrating stain, the softer areas soak up far more pigment, becoming very dark, while the denser parts absorb very little, remaining light. This exaggerates the grain in an unnatural way and creates dark, splotchy patches. This is the primary reason many beginners become frustrated when trying to stain pine. They end up with a high-contrast, messy result, instead of the uniform, elegant color they were hoping for. To overcome this inherent problem, we must first control how the wood absorbs color. This is where a pre-stained wood conditioner comes into play. Think of it as a primer for your wood. It is essentially a thin, clear sealer that you apply to the raw, sanded pine before any color is introduced. The conditioner soaks into the wood fibers and partially seals the most porous areas. This creates a more uniform surface, ensuring that any subsequent layers of stain will be absorbed much more evenly. By preventing the stain from penetrating too deeply into the soft spots, the conditioner eliminates blotching and gives you complete control over the final color, laying the groundwork for a convincing transformation. The journey to a flawless finish begins with proper surface preparation, and that means sanding. Sanding does more than just make the wood feel smooth. It opens up the wood's pores to accept the finish evenly. For a project like this, a strategic approach is best. Start with a medium grit sandpaper such as 80 grit to remove any mill marks, dents or scratches from the raw pine board. This initial, more aggressive sanding levels the surface and prepares it for the finer grits to come. Always sand in the direction of the wood grain to avoid creating cross-grain scratches that will become glaringly obvious once you apply a stain. This first step is crucial for creating a clean canvas. After the initial leveling with 80 grit paper, you will progress through finer grits to refine the surface. Move on to 120 grit sandpaper to remove the scratches left by the 80 grit. Again, work diligently along the grain, ensuring you cover the entire surface evenly. The goal here is to create a consistently smooth texture. Finally, finish your sanding preparation with 180 grit sandpaper. This final sanding step will leave the pine feeling silky smooth to the touch, and perfectly conditioned to accept the next layers of your finish. It is tempting to sand to even higher grits, but for this process, stopping at 180 is ideal. A surface that is too polished may not accept the stain as well. With the sanding complete, it is time to apply the pre-stained wood conditioner we discussed earlier. This step is absolutely non-negotiable for achieving a blotch-free finish on pine. Using a clean cloth or a foam brush, apply a liberal coat of the conditioner over the entire surface. Allow it to penetrate the wood for the amount of time recommended by the manufacturer, which is typically between 5 and 15 minutes. During this time, the conditioner works its magic, evening out the porosity of the wood. It is essentially filling up the thirstiest parts of the pine so they don't drink up too much of the stain later on. Before the conditioner fully dries, you must wipe off any excess with a clean, dry rag. Leaving too much conditioner on the surface can create a film that prevents the stain from adhering properly, resulting in a finish that is too light or uneven. You want the conditioner to be in the wood, not on the wood. After wiping it down, the surface should feel almost dry to the touch. This sealed yet receptive surface is now perfectly primed. It will resist the splotchiness that plagues raw pine, allowing you to build layers of color with precision and control, which is the key to creating a believable walnut effect. Now that the pine is properly sealed, we can begin building the color. The first step is to apply a base coat that establishes the foundational tone of the walnut. For this, a light to medium brown water-based dye or a highly thin stain works wonderfully. This initial layer shouldn't be too dark. Think of it as a background color. Applying a lighter base coat helps to cancel out the natural yellow or pink undertones of the pine, shifting its color profile closer to the neutral brown of walnut. Apply the base coat evenly with a rag or foam brush, and then wipe off the excess. Because the wood was sealed with conditioner, this color will go on uniformly without creating dark spots. After the base coat is dried, you can introduce a toner to further refine the color. Toning involves spraying a very thin, transparent layer of color mixed with a clear finish, like shellac or lacquer. This is a powerful technique for subtly shifting the overall hue. For a walnut look, you might use a toner with a touch of black or dark purple to counteract any remaining warmth from the pine and deepen the color. A toner sits on top of the wood rather than soaking in, giving you immense control. You can build up the color slowly in several thin coats until you reach the desired depth and cool, rich tone characteristic of real walnut. With the base color established, it is time to use a gel stain to add depth and richness without the risk of blotching. Gel stains are thick and sit on the surface of the wood, making them perfect for this kind of faux finishing. Choose a dark walnut or espresso-colored gel stain. Apply a generous layer over the toned surface with a cloth or brush. Let it sit for a few minutes to allow the pigment to set, and then wipe off the excess. You can control how dark the piece becomes by how much stain you leave on the surface. This layer adds the primary dark brown color and begins to create the illusion of depth. To create a realistic walnut grain, the dry brushing technique is invaluable. After applying the gel stain but before it fully dries, take a nearly dry chip brush and lightly drag its bristles along the length of the board. This action pulls and streaks the gel stain, creating fine, dark lines that mimic the natural pores and grain patterns of walnut. You can vary the pressure and angle of the brush to create subtle variations, making the effect more convincing. This step is more art than science. It is about observing real walnut and trying to replicate its linear texture. This technique is what elevates the finish from a simple dark stain to a believable wood imitation. To add an extra layer of authenticity and visual depth, we can apply a glaze. A glaze is a thick, translucent coloring agent that is designed to catch in the corners, crevices, and grain details of a piece. For our walnut finish, a dark, almost black glaze works best. Apply the glaze over the entire surface after the gel stain is dried, and then wipe most of it away from the flat areas with a clean rag. The glaze will remain lodged in the grain lines you created with the dry brushing technique, and any corners or profiles on the furniture. This process accentuates the texture, mimics the look of aged patina, and adds a final layer of complexity to the color. The final step in the finishing process is to apply a durable top coat. This protective layer is essential for safeguarding all your hard work from scratches, moisture, and daily wear and tear. A high-quality clear coat also enhances the finish, adding depth and a professional sheen. Modern polyurethane, or water-based lacquer finishes are excellent choices. They are durable, non-yellowing, and available in various sheens from matte to high gloss. Apply several thin coats, allowing for adequate drying time between each one. For an ultra-smooth glass-like feel, lightly sand between coats with very fine grit sandpaper, 320 grit or higher, to knock down any dust nibs or imperfections. By following this multi-step process, you can transform inexpensive and readily available pine into something that possesses the visual richness of luxurious walnut. The cost savings are significant. A project built from construction-grade pine can cost a small fraction of what it would if built from solid walnut lumber. This technique empowers you to create high-end looking furniture without the high-end budget. It challenges the notion that quality is solely dependent on the price of your raw materials, and proves that skill and technique are far more valuable. You are no longer limited by the selection at your local lumberyard. Ultimately, this method democratizes fine woodworking, making beautiful custom furniture accessible to everyone. You do not need a large workshop or expensive tools to achieve stunning results. With a few basic materials, sandpaper, conditioner, stains, and a good topcoat, you can elevate simple wood into a work of art. This approach encourages creativity and resourcefulness, allowing you to see the potential in humble materials. The satisfaction of turning a plain pine board into a piece that looks like it came from a high-end showroom is immense, proving that with the right knowledge, luxury is something you can create with your own two hands.